Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Thursday, October 31st, 2013. Happy Halloween to all of you out there. A few things we want to go over in this market. We're going to start off first with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. And what you'll see here is that the futures are trading lower by nearly 3 points, down to around that 1757.75, 1757.50 level. Again, we're teeter-tottering around here, but we were much lower in the overnight session, so the futures have come off the lows. They have rallied up a little bit. I don't know if we can make too much out of it, but I will say this. Last night in the Asian markets for the most part were pretty much lower. You had the Nikkei 225 index, which is Japan. That was down about 1.2%. You also had the Shanghai Composite, which is mainland China. That was down about 0.9%. So, decent little decline in Asia last night. I don't know if we should make too much out of it, but it is worth noting, and we'll see if it does have any effects here today. When we look at the European markets, they're mostly higher for the most part. Well, I should say slightly higher. The one index that is a little bit weaker is the FTSE 100, which is England. They can print their own money. They're down about 0.3% at the moment. Not a big decline by any stretch. We do have tons and tons of earnings out here. The most notable stock that reported earnings last night was Facebook, and you'll see Facebook stock really caught a huge bid all the way up to $58. Has since come back down, and right now it's trading at right around the unchanged level, around $48.89, $48.90. This is pretty much where it closed. It closed at $49.01 yesterday. I think Facebook is headed down to $45. Traders want to try a bounce play there. $45 is your level. I don't know if it gets down there today, but it can. So keep that on your radar. But ultimately, not seeing a whole lot of strength here in Facebook. And we'll see if it does break below 48. It should get down to around 45. Whether or not it's going to be today or tomorrow, I don't know. But if it gets to 45, that's your bounce play. Looking at a couple of other big names that reported earnings, I believe Exxon Mobil came out with numbers. Stock's trading at $89.15. It closed at $88.81. I don't see any more upside right now on the daily chart for Exxon. So while it may hold here, it may even go up a little bit, I'm not seeing a lot of strength for Exxon Mobil at this moment. When I look at Conoco Phillips, they're another stock that reported earnings. This stock actually is showing some strength on the daily chart. So Conoco a little bit stronger in my opinion. Right now the stock's trading at $73.88. They reported earnings. It closed at $73.25 yesterday. So not a big move by any means, but Conoco still a little bit stronger according to the chart. Looking at a few other names here today, Sony Corp is a big one, big Japanese ADR. Sony Corp is getting hammered to the downside. Stock's trading at $18 right now. I will have gap levels for Sony, but not a pretty picture here. Pretty good sell-off before the opening bell for Sony Corp. So again, the maker of the PlayStation video games and TVs and all sorts of electronic products really struggling, and this is even with the weaker yen that we've had lately. But you could see Sony really just can't keep that momentum going if the yen is not going to consistently fall. So that's important to take note of, and that same case can be made for most Japanese ADRs as well. Looking over the markets again here, if you take a look at oil today, oil is a little bit on the weaker side. We do have spot crude down about 60 cents. There is a little bit of some conflict brewing in Syria. I don't know how serious it is, but that always could help the price of oil. But right now we're seeing light sweet crude down about 60 cents to $96.16 a barrel. If we take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude, you'll see that's trading at $34.64. So pretty good little dip. It closed at $34.85 yesterday. Nothing dramatic, but ultimately oil is in a downtrend now. So any bounces most likely can be sold. But either way you slice it or dice it, right now the USO trading down a little bit, spot crude trading down a little bit. Now gold is getting hit today. Taking a look at gold futures, they are down 22.5 points. This comes as the US dollar index is getting a little bit of a bid. But if we take a look at gold via the GLD, which is a good proxy for gold, you'll see this is trading right now at 128.07. It closed at 129.60. So this is a decent little sell-off for spot gold today, any way you slice it or dice it. And again, gold futures are down $22 an ounce at the moment on the back of a stronger U.S. dollar index. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, you would think the dollar would be weaker today because the Federal Reserve promised to keep their quantitative easing in place. However, the dollar is strengthening, so you got to take it for what it is. Dollar catching a little bit of a bid. It is off the highs of the day, so I guess that will help gold a little bit. But nonetheless, the dollar is definitely stronger on the session. Meanwhile, if you take a look at the dollar yen chart, you're going to see that the dollar yen is a little bit weaker today. So the Japanese yen is gaining against the dollar. Dollar yen right now down about 20 cents. So a lot of distortion, especially after yesterday's big Fed announcement where the Fed continued to keep their quantitative easing program in place. Their quantitative easing program is $85 billion a month of bond buying in mortgage-backed securities and U.S. Treasury. So again, that was the big news yesterday. I don't know if we're going to get any big news today, but there is some economic news, I believe, out a little bit later. I'm not sure if it's going to be of the utmost importance, but either way, it should be noted. Also, I believe that Europe came out with their unemployment statistics this morning, and they were just ugly across the board. So I think unemployment in Europe hit a high of 12.2%, even though we keep hearing that things have bottomed in Europe. Apparently unemployment hasn't bottomed. So that's what you want to just take into consideration. Just watch the charts. Charts will tell you everything you need to know, everything you need to know. With that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts.